call upon Mr. Arun to address all of us. We're already a little late. Mr. Arun, please can start your.
Thank you, friends. Thank you for coming today evening. I find that only 39 are there, even though there should be 56. Maybe as the time goes, they will join. This is a pre-programmed meeting to help you understand about the program. Let me share my screen. Friends, if I were to work on you for the next 5 months, I would create only clones. All your style will be the same. Worse, they may even mimic mine. And I'm sure you don't want to be another Arun Subramanian. But if I were to help you work on yourself, you'll bring out the best and create an identity for yourself, just as the Almighty wished. If we take classes for 150 hours, soon you will be bored, tired, distracted, and sleepy. But if you are to learn through doing, and that too as a team, not only will you be learning, you will be having a learning of profound and deep-rooted learning, and it will also help you to go deep into the recesses of your subconscious and explore the genius hidden there, and you will be able to bring it out for the world to benefit. What is visible about you today is just the tip of the iceberg. There must have been moments in your life when you have experienced this genius surfacing, showing a flash of it, and then going deep down again, leaving you wondering and asking yourself, really? Was it really me? Or did I imagine? Let us together bring it into bright sunshine once and for all, and permanently keep it there through the help of each other. All that is required from you during these 5 months is your best effort, also called an honest effort. During my 44 years of corporate life, whenever I have told this to the people working with me, they have always come back and retorted, but then, sir, we always give our best effort. I have taken it upon myself at that time to explain to them what I mean. I will do so once more today, even though I know you fully understand what I mean. Imagine that you are a part of a rowing team in a boat race. Your boat starts sinking halfway through the race, and you know there is no way you can win. You might even drown. Yet you don't give up and continue giving your best. That, my dear friends, is what is meant by giving your best. Trying and trying and trying without any excuse till the last breath. And I, on my part, promise you that I will give you my best. You are the first batch of Diplome the Master Trainer. And you know, we have a big dream, the dream of turning this into the Harvard of the training industry. And you, as the first batch, have the burden of being the best batch on you. Do you promise me that you will give your best? Please unmute and answer me.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
definitely,
sir.
sir.
Very much, sir. That's why we are here.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Definitely, yes.
So, all of you are promising that you will give your best. You have promised your best effort, which I knew you would. That is not good enough for me. I want to create an insurance against your breaking this promise. You must be wondering, what the hell does this man mean right on the first day talking like this? The question in front of me is, how do I increase the thirst for knowledge of the participants of this training so that they will give their undivided attention going forward? Imagine 52 people have registered and paid for this program, and there are only 39 in this platform, counting the 4 of the faculty members. That means only 35 of the 52 who have paid are there. That is a testimony of the seriousness which is there. I want to ensure that I increase the thirst for knowledge of the participants of this training so that they will give their undivided attention going forward. When this question came into my mind a couple of days back, when I found that on the Diplome D Master Trainer group, nothing much was happening. People are all registered. They were also paying the balance amount fully, but still not much was happening. And I was disappointed, very frankly speaking. That is when this question came into my mind. And the outcome of this question is the pre-program meeting of today. This is where the game starts. This is where the learning of how to drive cognitive teaching starts. Friends, look at this sentence carefully. Very carefully look at this sentence. Do you see any cognitive touch points in this sentence? Please unmute and answer me. Do you see any cognitive touch points in this sentence?
Thirst.
Huh?
Thirst.
Thirst, okay.
Knowledge.
Knowledge.
Undivided attention.
Undivided attention.
Undivided. There are 3 touch points here. First is increase the thirst. This pre-program meeting is designed to increase your thirst for knowledge, leading to undivided attention. I'm very happy that you could identify all the 3 touch points, because in cognitive science, it's all about touch points. If you know how to bring out the touch points, you will be able to drive it. Let us see what I am proposing to achieve through this meeting. Before even beginning the program, you are going to get a taste of implicit learning. Let's see how I do it. We are going to be starting the program tomorrow, the entire learning tomorrow, with understanding a concept or conceptualization. What is a concept? What are the various elements which goes towards the constitution of a concept? Irrespective of what program you are creating, a concept should have these components. And the activity of identifying the various elements that constitute a concept, is known as conceptualization. Conceptualize is to form an idea or a picture of something in your mind. And conceptualization involves writing out a clear, concise definition for the key concepts. And it is from that definition that you take out the cognitive touch points. Let's see what are those 4 points. There are 4 points in this. First is inspiration. Second is framing. Third is flow. Fourth is validation. What is inspiration? Inspiration is the act of immersing yourself in the topic and trying to overcome the functional fixedness which is operating through you. In other words, we tend to look at a topic from the eyes of our experience. Functional fixedness is a very common cognitive bias. And to be able to see the world and the objects that make it up in a new way, you need to totally immerse yourself in it. And that is very important. It is very important to cultivate a mindset and environment of continuous curiosity so that you can be inspired. In other words, inspiration is the generation of an idea which is interesting and promises to impact the audience. Let me repeat, inspiration is the generation of an idea which is very interesting and promises to impact the audience. That brings us to the next point, framing. The second step in the conceptualization process is the framing. This is the process of transitioning the idea which has formed in your head into the physical world where it can be useful to others. In this step, you provide context to your idea and you define the direction you want to take it. You know, questions like, do you want to get rid of your stress? Do you want to increase your sales? Do you want to build your career? These are all frames in which you put your inspiration to provide a solution. That is, you address the major concerns of your audience in the framing. That brings us to the third part, that is flow. Flow is the sequencing of actions for a tangible working concept rather than just a theoretical idea. You had an idea, you have put it in the frame. Now you identify the actions required to manifest what you are planning. The flow is the stage where the concept in its contextual setting finds the action necessary for it to be of practical use. Finally, we come to validation. Validation is the final step. Here you analyze the results of the action that you have propounded or proposed and see whether it is working or not. This step aims to select, reject, or modify the actions that you have proposed. These are the 4 steps of conceptualization. Inspiration, where you get the idea which is interesting and impactful. Framing, where you translate that idea into real-time problems. Flow, based upon the real-time problems and the need, you create actionable, behavior. 5, you check whether the action is bearing fruits or not and take the step forward. Now, I'm going to give you homework, which you're going to do and bring it tomorrow. Write a single sentence definition of concept. You have to write a single sentence definition of concept. Then identify the cognitive touch points which are there in that sentence. Identify the cognitive touch points which are there in the sentence. And then create a single slide which makes a visual representation of the whole thing. Am I clear? Am I waiting for your answer?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You have to write a single sentence definition of concept. You have to identify the cognitive touch points in it. And then you have to create one single slide visual representation. Now, this is the homework. This homework you are going to do as a starting point incorporates 4 essential aspects of training on the cognitive level. 4 essential aspects of training it addresses. Number 1, working through elements of the concept. Number 2, structuring the concept as a workable statement. Number 3, identifying the cognitive touch points to work through. And number 4, creating a visual representation to support stickiness of the message. Once you are able to do this, the journey has begun. For the next 5 months, this is going to be the foundation. Start. Come to the session tomorrow with it. I will know how many are serious, how many are sharpening their excuse-giving skills.
You are muted, sir. Last few seconds, you are muted.
Have you seen that? Just a minute.
Yeah, we saw this slide. The slide was very clear.
This one you have seen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Can you just brief once again?
This one homework you are going to do.
So is this two part or it is just one thing? The conceptualization statement which you said. So one is this.
It is one part.
Okay.
One single slide you will make where the single sentence definition of concept will appear. The touch points will appear. It will all be a visual representation in one single slide. Brevity is the essence of wit on the online platform. The more you talk, the less people understand. One single slide. That slide should be a comprehensive definition of concept. Just assume that you are giving a program where you need to define concept in simple language, and then show the relevance of it to the audience. You not only need to define concept, you need to show the relevance. You also need to highlight all the touch points.
Thank you, sir.
You will be working through the elements of a concept. There will be a workable statement. You will identify the touch points. The visual representation will be complete. If you have any questions, please ask me. After that, Mr. Vaidishwaran, you can take over. Thank you.
This is Rajendra Sapre.
Yes, Mr. Sapre.
Arun sir, yeah. I want to understand exactly what is meant by touch point.
Anyone would like to answer that question? Touch point is
What are
anything.
we addressing?
Huh?
Touch points.
Touch point is anything which will stimulate your mind. For instance, I said undivided attention. What does it mean? It means every answer that I give you should lead you to a new question in your mind. Is it clear, Mr. Sapre?
Yes.
Because
No.
if I give you an answer which will stop the thinking process, you will lose interest. Every answer should lead you to the next question. What next? That is undivided attention. That means the program has to be such that everything we do should make you feel, I want to know more about this. Any other question? I want one single slide. At the end of the 5 months, you should be able to play around with ideas absolutely unconsciously. And journey begins now. Tomorrow, we are going to start with this exercise. And then we are going to move forward. Every day, there is going to be approximately 1 to 1 hour, 15 minutes of lecture and 1.5 hours of hands-on activity where you will be working to do all these things.
Sir, Balachandra here.
Yes, Mr. Balachandra.
Sir, whether we have to take any specific topic in that we have to write one single sentence
No, concept. I told you now, on concept.
on any of the concepts.
Only concept, on the word concept. What is a concept?
Oh,
Write
only
the
on the
definition
word
of a-
concept.
Write the definition of concept.
Okay.
Write the definition of concept. Precipitate all the touch points in that definition and then represent it. If you can do it with such an abstract thing as a concept, because there's nothing called a concept. Concept is a construct of the mind.
Yeah.
Concept is totally a construct of the mind. Now, if you can create something like this with an abstract, what can you do with something which is material?
It's easy then.
Somewhere along the line, we have to become serious. I think this is where we become serious. I'm sure none of you have joined this course to spare, pass time. You have joined here so that you can become a master in the art of training cognitively. Let the journey begin. Think about it today. Tomorrow, when we meet at 7 o'clock, we will begin precisely where we left off with your showing me what it is you have prepared. Then we will all work together to make it. Is it okay with you all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me see.
Yes.
Wait, how many of you come with the slide and how many with excuses? Then I will know what to expect going forward. Who to look to if the deliverables have to be met, and who to look to if the excuses have to be given.
So those who are weak in computer literacy, how can they prepare?
I beg your pardon?
Computer literacy, we have no, so it is difficult for me to tomorrow. I can complete the task.
Who is it? Who is speaking?
Sir, I am SN Mathur.
हाँ माथुर साहब बोलिए क्या प्रॉब्लम क्या है?
वो कंप्यूटर लिटरेसी का अभी इतना नहीं आ रहा है बनाना.
Forget computer literacy ना. If you can't prepare a slide, write on a piece of paper and show it to me.
Yes,
I'm absolutely okay with it. You see, we are talking about your ability to work on a concept, conceptualize a concept. Because the journey of learning how to drive, cognitively and how to drive implicit learning has to start somewhere. It starts here. I don't mind that if you can't prepare it on a PowerPoint presentation, don't worry, or you can reach out to Vaiti, he will help you. If you still can't do that, you don't have that time, think over it, write the definition, create the thing on a paper, and then hold it onto the screen and explain it to us.
Mathurji, we are all here to support you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
We are all going to do it together. You see, I'm telling you, it is not that we are all experts. We are all learners. When we do it together tomorrow, you learn from me, I learn from you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I don't want anyone to think that I'm going to be teaching. We are going to be learning. As I told you, if I work on you, that will only be close. We don't want that. We want the genius in each one of you to come out.
Thank you, sir. Thank
and we can all learn from each other.
Thank you, sir.
Think over what I have said. Practice it. Let us come tomorrow. And tomorrow onward, the journey begins, and every day is going to be a learning on the cognitive level. And this is just the beginning.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions or can I write here? Yes?
Sir, and this is Kanaha Pratap, sir.
Yes, Ms. Kanaha Pratap, tell me.
Sir, another one doubt. Do you want us to take notes tomorrow onwards?
Huh? No, I don't want you to take. I don't want you to take any notes.
Oh,
don't waste your time taking notes, because if you are going to be taking notes, you will not be able to concentrate on what is being taught. You get distracted, and then the real learning will not happen. Don't bother to take screenshots, because I have found some people take screenshots and then post it in the group. I don't know why. Don't do that. The time you are going to concentrate on taking a screenshot, you are going to be missing valuable insights. Don't do that. You are anyway going to get the video recording. So don't do that. Concentrate purely on what we are discussing. Let us discuss. You have an insight, share it with me. Share it with all of us. So that we can benefit from each other's presence on the platform.
That's nice.
I've seen, in many of my programs, I find, it's very funny and comic. People take screenshots and then they post it on the group. What? What are you trying to establish by doing that? That you know how to take screenshot?
Uh,
Or that others were
I
sitting with
was-
their eyes closed? So let's not do all those things. Let's spend this time totally on learning from each other. And from unconscious incompetence, let us move towards unconscious competence. As you practice, as you put in your best effort, I can tell you one thing, you will become a master. There is no second thought about it. Absolutely no second thought. It will happen. As sure as the sun rises every day, it will happen. Provided you are willing to put your best foot forward. Vaidhi, you can take over.
Okay. Okay, so thank you, Mr. Arun. And once again, I would like to welcome you all to the program. So let's get started with what we have. So I would just like to spend the next few minutes with you to take you through some of the activities that we'll be performing in this program and some of the rules that we'll be keeping up. So let's get started with those. So before the program, so what are some of the things that you need to remember? The first thing that I would request you all to do is go through the curriculum. So I have shared the PDF version of the curriculum in the group. So please spend some time to go through it. So that will give you the complete itinerary of what exactly we are going to do, the topics, the schedule, and all of that information is there. So please go through it first. And like Mr. Arun was explaining to you in your counseling sessions, be prepared with 5 topics, where it could be 5 slide decks that you already have, 5 presentations, or if you don't have 5 slide decks, be prepared with 5 topics, because we will be working on these 5 topics of yours over the next 5 months, where you will be working on these topics, and you will also be working on this along with your groups and also looking into what they are going to be doing. So please be prepared with these 5 topics ahead of the program. And all of these sessions, like Mr. Arun explained, are going to be completely experiential sessions. So make sure that you have your undivided attention planned for these 3 hours that you're going to be spending with us. So make sure that you carve out that time from your schedule, because it's not just passive listening. You will be working on individual as well as group activities in this. So make sure you have make your plans accordingly for that. And the whole objective of this particular Diplome the Master Trainer program is for you to have front row seats and watch your own programs evolve over the period of 5 months. And when you look back from where you've started to where you have come, that sense of transformation is what we're trying to achieve over here. So make sure that you have a log of how you're progressing. So now we'll come to the joining of the session. So we have our sessions scheduled on Fridays and Sundays for 3 hours from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. IST. So we request you to log in at least by 6:45 a.m. so that you are all well prepared and everyone is logged in and we are able to start the session on time. So the session will begin at 7 p.m. sharp, because each of these sessions have a lot of content, a lot of ground that we need to cover, as well as we want to ensure that you are given adequate time to do your activities and have sufficient time to ask your questions. So please make sure that you join in by 6:45 p.m. and ensure that you are placing yourself in a quiet environment, because when you are going to unmute yourself or when you're requested to unmute, we want to ensure that the other participants and the presenters are not disturbed by any background noise that is bound to come. So make sure that you select a quiet environment for your sessions. And the next part is the session entry. So when you are going to enter into the session, you will be given individual, you will be sent the links to join the session individually. So make sure that you log in from only one device, because we will be allowing only one login per registration into the program. And number two, when you are going to log in, please ensure that your name is appropriately displayed. For example, even in today's session, I saw some person with the name Moto E5 something. So if we are unable to recognize who the participant is, we will not be able to allow you inside the session. So please make sure that you have named yourself correctly, or able to identify yourself correctly, so that we can allow you into the session. And before you join into the session, just please make sure that you go through your audio settings once in Zoom. So you can go into the settings menu, make sure that the speakers and the microphones are configured correctly, and everything works the way it should work before you join into the session. And the next most important component is video. So please make sure that your video settings are also set up correctly, because one of the things that we are going to be mandating as part of this particular session is that we would like to have all of your videos turned on throughout the session. So this is something that we would like to insist. So please make sure that your video settings are configured correctly and you are able to join in to the session along with your video. So this actually brings me to another topic where I would like to talk about your internet connections. So if you are going to be sharing your video as well as audio, and there's going to be screen sharing and all, it does require a significant amount of bandwidth. So please make sure that you have a minimum of a 300 Mbps internet connection. If you are unsure of what your bandwidth is, you can look into your internet bill. That will usually specify the plan and will give you what is your internet speed. If that is a little difficult, you can talk to your internet service provider and they will tell you what your internet bandwidth speed is, and you can plan accordingly. So now we will move to during the session. So this is something that I would like to stress upon very seriously over here. Please ensure that you all stay muted, because even now I'm hearing some background noise from someone. So it is very important that you stay muted, and you should unmute only when you are asked to unmute. Please don't unmute voluntarily, because this is going to cause serious disturbance for the other participants. And like we were telling, this is a very intense program, and we would like every one of you to completely concentrate on what is happening. So please ensure that you mute and unmute. You unmute yourself only when you are requested. And if you are not aware of this, Zoom has a functionality where you can temporarily unmute yourself by pressing the space bar in your keyboard. So if you are called upon to probably give a response, or probably just say a few words, you can just tap your space bar, just hold down your space bar, say what you want to say, and take your hands off the space bar so that you go back on mute. So please ensure that you follow this. You can practice this on Zoom. If you have any questions on how to do this, please reach out to me. You all have my number. Please reach out to me. I'll help you how to do this. And the number two thing is using breakout rooms. So this is going to happen in virtually every single session. So I would like you all to just let me know if anyone over here is not familiar with using breakout rooms. Do we have anyone here who is not familiar with breakout rooms? Okay, Mr. Rehan.
Okay, Sham Prasad.
Okay, fine. So what we will do is, I'm going to stop my screen share, right? So I'm stopping my screen share, and I'm going to create, I would like Mr. Durga Prasad to create 5 breakout rooms for me. And I would like all of you to just practice right now to go into the breakout room. We will have the breakout room open for like about minute and a half, and then we'll pull you back into the main session. So I just want to make sure that you are able to join in and leave the breakout rooms appropriately. So what will happen is, once Mr. Durga Prasad enables the breakout room, You will receive a pop-up on your screen asking you to join a particular breakout room number. So you just have to hit join. You will get into the breakout room with your team. So once you have completed your discussion, you can either voluntarily come out of the breakout room by just hitting leave breakout room. You will come into the main session, or there will be a countdown which will be issued if the time that we have given for your session is going to run out. There will be a timer that's going to come up for you, and once that timer is done, you will automatically be brought into the main session. So this is how a breakout room works. So Mr. Durga Prasad, if you can create those breakout rooms for me, we would like to do a quick spend a quick couple of minutes to practice that.
Yes, Mr. Vaidya, I'm just manipulating the rooms.
Thank you.
Created the rooms and people will be prompted.
Yes.
People, friends, you can get into these rooms and then come back to the main room also.
Yeah.
So that it will be a refresher for you. I don't see anybody entering any room.
So the message has not flashed.
Information has not come.
No.
Yeah.
Now
Now
it
It
has
has come.
Now it's
Now it has come.
It has come, sir.
Vijay ji, are you able to join? Okay, so he has joined. Suma must join.
Suma normally comes in 2 IDs.
No, I went into the breakout room and came out.
Oh, okay, fine. So let
You're
me join
fast.
into one of them. Let me join into one of them and come out as well.
Yeah, that would be better.